Hello. So today I'm gonna share something important with you. Three causes of ulcer. I say three major causes of ulcer. When I say three major causes of ulcer, it now looks like there are other causes of ulcer. Yeah, there might be other causes of ulcer, but those ones are, let me say, minor, or probably what we're gonna call risk factors. But when we talk about causes of ulcer, we have just three, and I'm going to list those three to you. And first of all, what is ulcer? Ulcer is simply a corrosion in your stomach lining. That is a sore, a wound in the lining of your stomach. Depending on the type, anyway, we have what we call gastric ulcer. That is specifically when this ulcer or when this wound or when this sore is in your stomach lining, that is inside your stomach. Then we have what we call duodenal ulcer. This type of sore happens in the first part of your intestine, the part we call duodenal, so we call it duodenal ulcer. Combination of this duodenal ulcer and this gastric ulcer gives what we call peptic ulcer. So when I tell you that I'm going to tell you three major causes of ulcer or three causes of ulcer, I'm just saying that I will tell you three causes of peptic ulcer. I know probably you want to tell me one of them. You want to tell me that food could be number one because if you don't eat early, if you eat late, if you don't, if you starve yourself a lot, or if you are fasting, that you are going to have ulcer. Well, I'm sorry, food is not one of them. Food is not in the list of the three causes of ulcer, because food, whether you eat or you don't eat all those things, it does not cause ulcer. So that is why you need to stick to this video. However, I'm going to tell you relationship between food and ulcer at the ending part of this video, okay? So let's get there. First of all, before I mention this, before I tell you about these three causes of ulcer and talk a little thing about each of them, I must tell you that these three causes of ulcer, they work hand in hand, or they give you all this ulcer through their relationship with hydrochloric acid. An acid that is in your stomach is an acid. It takes care of bacteria, especially the ones that weren't taken care of in your oral cavity, that is in your mouth. By the time they come to your stomach, hydrochloric acid neutralizes them, okay? So let's get there. The number one major cause of ulcer is what we call H. pylori. H. pylori, fully called, is Helicobacter pylori. This is a bacteria that lives in your stomach, and although we have it, almost everybody have it at a smaller rate, but when it's much in your system, it is likely to cause you ulcer. And I know that what you want to ask me is if it's a bacteria, and we know that hydrochloric acid in the stomach take care of all those rubbish bacteria. So why didn't it take care of this one? No, this H. pylori is a kind of a tough bacteria, in the sense that when it's much like that in your system, it produces an enzyme that makes it difficult for hydrochloric acid to kill it, hydrochloric acid to affect it. In other words, it produces a kind of protective enzyme, such that hydrochloric acid cannot act on it. So if it stays in your system, it has the tendency to cause you an ulcer. And some reports have shown that this bacteria, if you don't take care of it in your system, if it stays long for the system, is one of the causes of stomach cancer. This is how tough H. pylori are. So H. pylori is one of the major causes of ulcer. That is why when we want to treat your ulcer in the hospital, we normally give you some antibiotics such as clarithromycin, amoxicillin, flagyl, and those stuff. Why? Because these are antibiotics that take care of the bacteria called H. pylori. Let's get to number two cause of ulcer, is what we call NSAID. That is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. This is a class of analgesics, as a class of painkillers. You know what painkillers is? Yes, a type of painkillers. We call it NSAID. They belong to another class. Majorly ibuprofen, diclofenac, piroxicam, meroxicam, naproxen, aspirin. So these types of painkillers are, we call it NSAID. They take care of inflammation, they take care of your fever, and they take care of your pains. So long-term use of this type of analgesics, long-term use of NSAID causes ulcer. We normally call it aspirin-induced ulcer most times. So this long-term use, it causes you ulcer. Why? Because there is, I know I shouldn't, but let me simply tell you, how does these painkillers of a stuff cause you ulcer? I must tell you, it's not that when you're having pain, you went out to buy ibuprofen or buy all those aspirin, it will just cause you ulcer. No, I talk about long-term use. Long-term use, when you have used these drugs over a long period of time, there has a tendency to cause you ulcer. That's why most people who have arthritis, they are used to painkillers and taking these simple traditional analgesics. They are the one that normally come down with ulcer. Why? Because of long-term use of all these type of drugs. How does this NSAID cause ulcer? There's something we call Cyclo oxygenase 1 enzyme. In a simple way, we call it COS1. It plays an important part into pain. So because you want to stop this pain, you have to take some drugs to inhibit this COS1. What are those drugs you take? Maybe ibuprofen, aspirin, that's for pain, piroxicam, naproxen. So you take those drugs to stop the effect of the pain. So when you have taken this for a long time, when you are taking these drugs, these painkillers of stuff for a long time, you are exposing your stomach lining to corrosion by hydrochloric acid, because the prostaglandins, the enzyme that is needed to protect your colons from this hydrochloric acid, have already been inhibited by these drugs you are taking, because you don't want to feel pain and because of all those things. So when you use this thing for a long time, NSAID are likely to give you this ulcer. The last cause of ulcer, although is rare, is a rare condition we call Helicobacter syndrome. It's simply when there is a tumor in your stomach that is causing overproduction of hydrochloric acid. So this overproduction of hydrochloric acid is abnormal. It's not the amount. It's not the amount. It's not the level that it's supposed to be. So this tumor is producing an abnormal production. So it causes your hydrochloric acid in your stomach lining to be too much, and in this way, this excess hydrochloric acid corrodes your stomach linings and give you ulcer. Somebody will ask me, then what about food? Why are we having about food and food and food? Or maybe when they want to ask me if I have ulcer, they always ask me some questions relating to food. Okay, the food does not cause ulcer. Food, simply lack of eating or starvation or fasting, they only aggravate your symptoms. You didn't hear me. I say those food of issue, they only aggravate your symptoms. So when you have ulcer, you need to be taking small meals at short intervals for when you have not taken care of it, when it is not being treated, because ulcer is treatable. It's totally treatable. So when you have not treated, or when you're still in treatment, it's still giving you effect, you need to be taking small food for this time. So if you don't eat early, or you're starved, or all those things, you're going to have the symptoms is going to be aggravated. That is going to be made worse. So it's kind of they say contributing or risk factor, but it does not cause ulcer. If it causes ulcer, there are people who fast 6 to 6 and they still don't have ulcer. So why don't they? So we simply say that food can worsen your symptoms. Sometimes you may not even know that you have ulcer till maybe you have not eaten for maybe for the whole day or stuff. You see those symptoms coming up. I have some more medical videos that will be dropping soon, and you will need to get notified when those medical videos drop, so that you can just watch them in your own free time. So you need to subscribe to this channel, so that when those videos pop up, so when I post the video, they will pop up on your phone. Thank you. If you like this video, subscribe.